Sinful to Pete called a case on April 17th of 2008. I was 23 years old at the time. I'm 37 now, but I was 23 years old at the time. I also want Brother Polite to listen to this because whenever it's a situation like this, whether you're innocent, whether you're guilty, whether you was deceived, set up, whatever, as a man, as a leader, it's still your fault. Nobody wants to hear about Rolls Royce diaries, how many hoes I pimped on, the places I've had, the hoes that I broke on, the motherfucking, you understand me, charities I donated to. Nobody gives a fuck when they hear about a 14-year-old girl getting pregnant or a 14-year-old girl having DNA, on her clothes. So let me just say this, like I always say, like the word said, to whom much is given, much is required. And I'll speak about that situation later, but I'm just gonna give you this: whether he's innocent or whether he's guilty or not, it's still his fault for even being in that position for that to happen. And I know some of y'all are like, what? Yes, that's what should have been said. But see, we got so many egotistical, arrogant ass niggas that really just, you can't tell the forest from the trees when you moving in the spirit of arrogance. Some of these niggas that are knowledgeable are rival gangs to wisdom. That probably went over your head. Some of these niggas that's knowledgeable, they are rival gangs to wisdom. They the embodiment of knowledge, information. They're the museum, of knowledge. But they're a rival gang to wisdom. That's not wise at all. Appreciate that too, bro. But that was this situation that I'm speaking on. Before I even give you clarity about how it happened, why it happened, and all of that type of shit, let me first start off by saying it was my fault. That what happened, that was my fault. As a man, I take full responsibility. That's why, another reason why you should, do what you want. Let me say this. Everybody's not hating on me. Everybody's not hating on Sinful to P. Everybody's not hating on me. Saying, what do you mean? Meaning that if you only know an individual by what you heard or what you seen on YouTube, and you're defining the individual by the allegations that you hear and think, everybody's not hating. I just understand that I was once in those shoes. I know what it's like to never be arrested before. And if you would have spoke to the 23-year-old Philip Brandon Gilmore, that Sinful to P, before I got arrested, and you told me that some 23-year-old guy caught a case with a minor in it, and whether she lied to him or not, or used ID or not, I was going to blame the adult because he's still an adult. I would have told you that he should have known. And if I would have heard or listened or watched or knew somebody like me, I would have said he's too sharp to not know. He should have had enough discernment to discern the age of that girl. So whether he knew or whether he didn't know, it's still his fault. And I'm still here to tell you right now, sincerely, it was my fault. I apologize for the innumerable time. Let me give it innumerable in one. I sincerely apologize to everybody, to my family, to my friends, partners, Black community, I brought so much shame on my grandmother, on my mother, on my family. That was my fault. That was one of the worst times, of course, when my mother died, I didn't feel like I'd go, but that was the worst time. 23 years old, facing life sentences, that was cool. And that wasn't cool enough. That felt bad. But the worst of it all was coming to court and seeing my grandmother getting sicker and sicker because of this situation. My mother flying from Chicago to Vegas to all because of me. So I sincerely apologize. That was my fault. Of course, I'm going to give you the understanding and everything like that, but that still does not take away from the fact that that was my fault. As a man, I fucked up. As a man, I wish that I can give something up, pay something to take it back, but reality is I can't. It's there. It's done. I can't take that back. So understand again, everybody's not hating on me. Everybody's not hating on me. I once had that mentality too, until I got into some shit. But okay, let me